Unbreakable. I don't have anything written down or anything, so I'm just gonna try it. I have to remember. In Unbreakable, the movie starts with Bruce Willis, and he's on a train, and he tries to hit on a girl, and it doesn't work, and he's upset. But then, the train derails. Everyone aboard the train dies, except for Bruce Willis himself. He's confused, but he doesn't really think anything about it. So he finds out in the hospital that he's the only one who survived, and some of the doctors are super confused. And then there's like the shot where he's walking down the hallway, and all of the grieving family members of everyone on the train who died are all like staring at him, and he's just walking along, and then he sees his son, who gives him a hug. Later on, he's like at the funeral proceedings, or like a memorial or something, and they're reading off a long list of names of all the people that that died on the Unbreakable train. And then he gets out to his car, and he finds a little note on his windowsill, and it says, "Have you ever been sick?" And he looks at the card, and it's from like a comic book store or whatever. So Bruce Willis goes with his son to the comic book store. I don't know why he brought his son, but he did. And he goes there, and he meets Sam Jackson. That took me way too long to remember. It's Sam Jackson, the most famous black man alive. So he goes there, there's Samuel L. Jackson there, and they sit down, and Sam Jackson is like, "Hey, Bruce Willis, have you ever been sick? Have you ever gotten hurt before? Have you ever, like, broken a bone?" And Bruce Willis is like, probably. I mean, I don't remember any times, but probably. And, he calls him crazy cuckoo pants, and then they leave. Okay, shit, what happens next? Okay, the Sam Jackson meeting, and then, I don't really remember, but a little bit time later, Bruce Willis and his son go home, and he's lifting weights, working out in the basement with his son, for some reason, and his son is like, "Dad, put on more weight," and he puts on a bunch of weight, and his dad's lifting it, and it's like, "Whoa, how much did you put on?" And he's like, 500 pounds, and they're like, "Whoa," and his son is like, "Dad, you really are unbreakable," but Bruce Willis is like, no, there's no way, that's impossible. And Bruce Willis is psychic too, I forgot to mention that. When he touches people, he can see bad things they did. And Bruce Willis, he's a security guard, so he's at his job the next day at the baseball field or whatever, and Sam Jackson shows up, and they start talking, and they come to I am unbreakable. And then there's a scene where Bruce Willis' son points a gun at him, and he's like, "I'll prove it to you. I know you're unbreakable. I'll shoot you with this gun, and nothing bad will happen." And, but he doesn't shoot the gun. I was really hoping that during that scene that he would, like, shoot Bruce Willis, and the bullet would just go and, like, fling off of his super skin. But no such thing occurred. What happened next? I don't know. I'm drawing a blank on this one, but anyway, some time passes, and Bruce Willis decides, like, it's time. He decides, okay, I'm convinced I'm unbreakable. I can be a superhero, so that's what I gotta do. Oh yeah, I gotta explain Sam Jackson's thing real quick. So his thing is that, like, he's a little crippled kid. His bones are very fragile. He keeps breaking all his bones. Like, every time he trips over, he just breaks every bone in his body. And there's a couple hilarious chase scenes where he's hobbling along, and then, like, he literally falls down a whole set of subway stairs, breaks every bone in his body. It's amazing. You gotta see that scene. But anyway, yeah, so his thing is that, like, he's trying to find a real-life superhero. He's like, I know they exist. Like, look at these comic books. These comic books are written about real life. And yeah, so he's, like, hunting down real-world superheroes, and he explains at one point, he's like, I've been watching the news this whole time, and every time that, like, a horrible accident where everyone dies happens, I look at that and I see if there's any, like, suspicious soul survivors. And that's only happened once, and that's with Bruce Willis. So that's why he hunted Bruce Willis down. So yeah, Bruce Willis, he becomes convinced. He's lifting like 1,000 pounds in his basement gym. He's, I can't remember, there's gotta be some other, like events that happened that, like, convince him, but I can't really remember. Yeah, so he's convinced he's a superb hero. He is unbreakable. So he goes out into the world, and he's like, it's time to fight crime. So he's using his psychic ability that I mentioned earlier, remember that? So he's walking around, and he's, like, casually touching people. His superhero costume is just a green poncho. So he's going around touching people and seeing the bad things he did, and he'll touch a fat lady, and it'll have, like, you'll see her, like, yelling at her kid or something. And so he's touching all these people that do, like, mildly bad things. And then he touches a child rapist or something like that. He's like, this is the guy, I'm gonna superhero. So he follows the guy, and the guy just so happens to try and break into someone's house. So Bruce Willis stops him. Oh wait, no, yeah, it's more fucked up than that. So this guy breaks into a house, ties everyone up, and leaves them there just to, like, fuck them forever, and, like, steal all their shit. And Bruce Willis touched that guy, and he saw that there were people, like, trapped in this house. So that's why he went to the house. He goes there, all he can really do is, like, he just chokes the guy out. He just strangles him to death. Like, he doesn't do any, like, superhero athletics or anything. He just fucking strangles the guy and he dies. And he's like, woo, yeah, we did it. I'm a superhero now. And then later at, like, breakfast the next day with his son, he slides his son a newspaper article that's like, Green Poncho Man saves the day. And he's like, yeah, that's right. And then he goes, shh, don't tell anyone. And his son starts crying, and he's like, my dad's a superhero. And then, so he goes to see Sam Jackson one last time, maybe to explain that he is a superhero after all. And Sam Jackson's like, well, I've been expecting you. So you figured it out, you are a superhero. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna reveal my whole strategy. And he reveals that he's the one who orchestrated all of the various different disasters. He's been trying to manufacture a superhero. You know, he did the, like, plane crashes and cruise liners going down, and he did Bruce Willis's train wreck. Sam Jackson caused that train wreck and created Bruce Willis, revealed Bruce Willis, the Unbreakable Man. And, so Bruce Willis is like, oh my god, you're a murderer, you're an evil, you're a real-life supervillain, oh my god. And then that's the M. Night Shyamalan twist of this movie, is Sam Jackson is actually a supervillain. Yep, so that's how that one ends. That movie was called Unbreakable, starring Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis and some other actors and actresses. Pretty good. I thought it was a pretty good movie. It was a little bit funny. a little bit interesting.